my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us. I will quote to you, brethren, a few lines from a hymn which is every day repeated by millions of human beings. As the different streams, having their sources in different places, all mingle their water in the sea, so, O Lord, the different paths which men take through different tendencies, various though they appear, crooked or straight, all lead to thee.
We often have a question, and this question is for worldwide. How do we free mankind from intolerance? Who can we take inspiration from? And to find the ultimate truth and save ourselves from destroying our Mother Earth. India has something to contribute to the crisis that our humanity is facing. You recently heard the message from Swami Vivekananda of fundamental spiritual unity of life on September 11, 1893 in the Parliament of Religion in Chicago, precisely to answer these questions. Who was this man? And how and why he wanted to spread the message of oneness? Let's embark upon his journey, and here his tale begins. Swamiji's father was a respected lawyer named Vishwanath. He was married to Bhuvneshwari Devi, devoted and deeply religious woman, after praying fervently for the son. Narendra Dutt was born on January 12, 1863.
Narendra was a sweet child, but also had incredible energy and was prone to fits of restlessness. At the tender age of 3, his family had a hard time getting him to calm down, and his mother could only calm him by pouring cold water on his head and chanting the name of Shiva in his ears. Narendra also had a great affection and fancy for wandering monks. He would always give anything he had to a sadhu. Once he gave his own duty, as he had nothing else with him. Even after being locked up in his room, he would throw things from his window to travelling sadhus as an offering to them. By age 8, he was in 2nd standard, attending the Metropolitan Institute of Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. However, studying was hardly something that Narendra had to spend a lot of time in, so he spent much of his time in other activities occasionally.
Drifting seemingly into some other world, and would proclaim by reading his own palms that he was destined to become a monk. He had a spirit of adventure and fearlessness, and once spent many hours on a tree to prove that no ghost existed in it. As an old man nearby had told him, he later just said,
"Do not believe a thing because you have read it in a book. Do not believe a thing because another has said it is so. Find out the truth for yourself. That is realization."
Narendra attended the Scottish Church College between 1881 and 1884. Intellectual in nature, joined the Brahmo Samaj, a Hindu social reform organization that protested against certain orthodox practices in Hinduism. Dissatisfied with mere intellectuals, the desire to know the ultimate truth and to know God became stronger. He asked many people whether they had seen God, but no one gave a satisfactory answer to him. After completing college, he was drawn back to Ramakrishna and grew tremendously under his guide. His spiritual training went on for 4 years and included fun and frolic, as well as intense discussions of teachings of Vedanta, Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga.
By 1885, Sri Ramakrishna was tragically diagnosed with cancer, and everyone knew that his death was not far away. Just before passing away, Sri Ramakrishna established Narendra as the next head of Ramakrishna order. By 1887, Narendra and the remaining disciples established a mutt or a monastery at Baranaga near Calcutta. There he got the name of Swami Vivekananda. In 1888, Swamiji began to travel across various parts of India. When he was in Rajasthan, Swamiji met Raja of Khetri, who gave him the name of Vivekananda. Afterwards, he visited Gujarat and traveled many parts of South India. As well as during his journey, he had seen in great depth the kind of poverty, hunger, and degeneration of ancient Hindu practices all over India.
He eventually reached the shores of Kanyakumari, where in frustration he dove into the water and swam to a large rock, where he meditated for 3 days. Why had India reached the state in his meditation? He realized India shall rise only through a renewal and restoration of that highest spiritual consciousness that had made her all the time cradle of nations. He knew that this could only be done, however, by inculcating spirit of service and by uplifting India's downtrodden masses. But how could he take this message to everyone in this moment of calling? He looked down to ocean and realized he would have to go to the west to spread the message of Vedanta. On May 31, 1893, with the help of money collected by Raja of Khetri and other disciples, Swami Vivekananda set sail for America.
Finally landed in Chicago. As the American people were accustomed to seeing Hindu monks in saffron clothing, he was mocked and discriminated against by the local populace on several occasions. It was then, in the middle of July 1893, that he also found out that the deadline had already passed for signing up as a delegate for the World Parliament of Religions. Swamiji on several occasions thought that he may simply have to return to India, but knew that the message of Hindu Dharma and universal oneness had to come to the West. With the help of George Hale, he got into connect with the rest of the delegates of the World Parliament of Religions. Once again, he reached at the right place in spite of all the obstacles that he had faced. The Parliament of Religion was held in Chicago from September 11 to September 27, 1893. It included representation from various Christian denominations. Swami Vivekananda finally came forth to speak. He gazed at the audience for a moment and began, "Sisters and brothers of America." And just with that, the whole audience rose up, shouting their applause for full 2 minutes. And then Vivekananda continued.
As the different streams, having their sources in different places, all mingle their water in the sea, so, O Lord, the different paths which men take, through different tendencies, various though they may appear, crooked or straight, all lead to Thee.
Later on, in the parliament, he said,
The Hindu refuses to call you sinners. Ye are the children of God, the sharers of immortal bliss, holy and perfect beings. Ye divinities on earth, sinners! It is a sin to call man so.
New Herald Root, Vivekananda is undoubtedly the greatest figure in the Parliament of Religions. After hearing him, we feel how foolish it is to send missionaries to this learned nation. Swami Vivekananda's words reflected his direct experience of the divine and thus penetrated deep into the minds of his audience. Swami Vivekananda had captivated America. His sheer earnestness and sincere emotions and spirit of universality took the parliament by storm. News of Swamiji's popularity spread to India, as well as by various American writers praised Swamiji's unique contribution, even thanking India for having sent him to Chicago. After a series of events, by 1897, Swami Vivekananda left America, and and arrived in India. He was given an ecstatic welcome and was filled with honest devotees and people waiting to hear Swami Vivekananda's inspiring words on the great spiritual heritage of India, as well as need for the social upliftment of India's message. He said,
Service to humanity is service to God.
Swamiji passed away attaining Maha Samadhi on July 4th, 1902, while he was meditating and was cremated on the bank of Ganga. Vivekananda's life was a tribute to the spirit of universal peace and inspiration for all. He spoke both of the need to develop an indomitable will in the face of difficulty, as well as the need to imbibe deep humility and serve our fellow human beings.